Okay, so now that we have covered setting up the initial steps, which is you go on to settings and then you come here. So we have covered the organization details, the users and currencies. We didn't touch base on this, but you can have a read, but not necessary again. And then the second part is the invoice settings. So we will cover up these areas. So ideally, the second thing is customize invoice settings. So you would come to your course again. I'm just going to go back. So that's done. Customize invoice settings. Come to the second part and get started. So you go to invoice settings. So this is the settings area that is here. So what you would do here is you would ideally need to know what is invoice reminders. So you click on this. It's an amazing system, how it has set up the process. So email customers when invoice. So when you send an invoice to your customer, Xero will automatically send email reminders, and you can change the frequencies here: 7 days overdue, 14 days overdue, and 21 days. So emails will be sent throughout. Okay, so send replies to admin@thecandy.com.au. So that's the email address that I have set up. So you would ideally need to know that. And then include a link to the invoice PDF. So in the email template, there will be a link to the invoice in a PDF format, and then invoice detail summary and things like that. So I'll show you that part later. And then once you set up things, you'll come here, save. And that is save. Okay, so demo company and settings, invoice settings. And then there are some default settings that you can play around with, but this is how it'll look like. So it'll say the company details, what you have entered here, and then the logo if you have uploaded, and then certain areas, what it'll show, the tax number, column, discounts, and things like that. So this is the standard invoice. So if you can send an invoice to yourself later to check how it looks. So in case if you are a proper business set up and you've got your own branding themes and things like that, so you can come on to new branding theme and then decide what are the stuff that you wanted to show and whatnot. So this is the new branding themes. You set up a name and decide how you want to set that up. That's good. So once you do that setup, and then payment services. So the good thing about Xero, Mayob, and all these softwares is once you send an invoice from the system, in the invoice underneath in the payment section where it says payable, you can add a link to that payment services, which makes it more convenient for customers to make payments. So you click on that link, and then you can put the card details and boom, make payment, just like that. And then what it'll tell you is that for the customer, if they are also on Xero or any other softwares, it'll notify them for that particular invoice payment has been received. And it happens for you as well, in terms when you make payments for certain bills. So you would ideally want to set up the payment services for what it shows in the invoices. So that's how you will be setting up the invoice, how you wanted to set that up. And then this is the payment services. So there are a number of payment services that you can set up or you can attach to the invoice. For the time being, you can set up through PayPal. So this is both are on. So this is a fake account. So you receive payments in PayPal. So add a new payment service. So you can attach cards, direct debits, like direct to your bank account, or you can set up multiple PayPal accounts. Manage connected services. Once that's connected, you can decide if you want to remove or keep them. And that's about the payment service. So ideally, you would need to set this up if you are sending invoices. So that's about invoicing and payment services. And then another thing you need to know is email settings. So this is the emails that I was talking about when invoices are being sent, like in that frequent basis, when it's overdue and all of that, 7, 14, 21 days. And then email templates also, you can customize it. and then you would decide where that email needs to be sent. So when an invoice is being sent automatically from the system, customers can reply to you that same email address. So you would need to set up an email address where those replies are going to. We can just go in, edit, add new email address, and change it. And then we've got templates. How the template will look like for that email, you can make any adjustments, any changes according to your business need. For example, I'll just go with a sales invoice. So this is an overdue one. So I'll just go with a basic sales invoice. So this is how it look like. So hi, the customer's name. When you set up the business contact, here's an invoice for that particular number system will generate, and how much, currency code, sometimes not necessary, which is $1, pound, or things like that. The total you need to pay, the outstanding amount, and then view and pay bills. So this is where you will add your bill, where I was saying the payment services, view and pay your bill online. So we'll have a link here, so they can just click on that link and make that payment for you. And then the trading name and all of that, the logos will appear down here, and you can customize it however you like it, and then hit save, and that'll be included in it. I'm not going to save, so just hit cancel. So that's about the email settings, how you want to set that up. If you come again to your learning, you would ideally need to go through the same thing. So everything what I was explaining. So this is the invoice settings. Again, invoice reminders, how the email reminders are set up, who the replies to, and you can change the replying thing, and then default dates. So this is the default dates, when it's going to get overdue, the starting numbers and all of that, not really necessary. And then the payment services, what you need to connect, and these are all the different things we looked at earlier. And then creating a branding theme, if you have a brand, set things up properly, however you like it. Not really necessary. I believe Xero standard invoice is way better than anything, so there's no need for someone to go and just make those changes. And customize the templates. So for ideally, this is for branding themes. So you would just get a copy of the template, make certain changes, upload, and that will just stay on the system. And then email setups. So you go to email settings, add new email addresses, and then set up the replies to where it needs to be sent, and then customizing the email template. So this is what I was explaining you. The number of templates that can be used for number of reasons. So for statements, codes, purchase orders, credit note, and things like that. You can make that changes and then do save. And then again, come here, answer those questions. Okay, on the next one, we will look at the advanced settings, how to enter them.